I was cursed with a bisexual child. And I couldn't be more blessed before you judge me. Please hear me out. My name is Katie. I'm a mother, a wife, a former bigot, and someone who is constantly learning and unlearning what it means to love unconditionally. My son, Carter, is 17. He's funny, kind, creative, a little too obsessed with anime, and happens to be bisexual, and I am absolutely, endlessly proud of him. But I haven't always been this way. The church that shaped me, I was raised in an ultra-conservative Christian household. Not just strict radical. We were part of a small, closed-off church that preached fear, judgment, and the idea that anyone different was evil. People outside our norms weren't just wrong. They were broken, sinful, corrupt. We were told to avoid them, correct them, or condemn them. My parents bought into it entirely. My sister, Rose, did not. Rose was my older sister, and in hindsight, the strongest of us all. She was outspoken, questioning, compassionate, and in our world, that made her dangerous. From the time she was a teenager, she stood up against the church's teachings. She called out the hypocrisy. She refused to play nice. Our parents were furious. The church shunned her, and when she came out as a lesbian, they kicked her out of the house entirely. She was 16. She ended up staying with her best friend, a girl with a single mom. Another thing our church considered sinful. I was younger, still brainwashed, and worst of all, I joined in the bullying. I mocked her at school. I spread rumors. I wanted a reaction. But Rose never gave it to me. She would just walk away or redirect her path. It infuriated me. So one day, I went after a best friend, who, turn it out, was actually her girlfriend. I cornered her, said horrible things. Rose saw it happen. She stepped between us, eyes filled with something I didn't understand at the time. Not rage, not sadness. Pity. She looked at me and said, "Mom and Dad got me because they acted like this. God is going to punish you for behaving like them. He'll give you a cursed child, just like me. Just you wait." Then she turned and walked away, hand in hand with her girlfriend. Seeds of doubt that moment haunted me, not because I feared the curse, but because something inside me knew she was right. I stopped bullying her after that. She moved away, and I didn't see her again for years. Life went on. I left our town for college and met David. Kind, funny, open-minded, very not like anyone I'd known back home. When we got married, my parents tried to hijack our reception with purity sermons. They rambled about how God had forgiven me for marrying outside the faith. One of David's cousins, Willow, a theology major with a purple pantsuit and a pixie cut, calmly dismantled their rhetoric with actual scripture. "You're twisting the word to fit your hate," she told them. "Respect is earned, and frankly, you haven't earned any." When they called her a devil, she just laughed and said, "The only devils here are the ones wearing judgment like a badge." That night changed something in me. I started seeing my parents and my upbringing for what they really were. Choosing my family when I got pregnant with Carter. Ikneo primera. Did NAT want him raised in that environment? I wanted him to grow up with love, choice, and freedom. Not fear. My parents were thrilled at first. "You're finally doing your duty," my mom said, raising a proper child. But I wasn't their daughter anymore. I reached out to Rose. I apologized. She didn't forgive me. "Not yet," she said. "If you're still in contact with them, I can't be in your life." That hurt. But I understood. And so I made a choice. I gave my parents an ultimatum. Leave the church or lose me. They chose the church. I cut them off. It was hard, but I've never looked back. Rose came back into my life. Her girlfriend, Julia, welcomed me with open arms. Willow became like a sister to me. David's family embraced us all. Carter was raised surrounded by laughter, homemade cookies, and people who didn't just tolerate others. They celebrated them. The curse comes full circle yesterday. Rose texted me to say she was in town and wanted to stop by. Of course, I said yes. She came with Julia, who brought a cake. She's the best baker I've ever met. Seriously, her red velvet is divine. Willow and my in-laws were already over, so the house was full of people I love. Carter came home with his best friend, Angelo, and I'd seen how he looked at Angelo before. The same way Rose used to look at Julia in high school. I'd suspected for a while, and then Julia brought out the cake. It was decorated in stripes. Blue, purple, pink, and in white frosting. It read, "Surprise! I'm by." There was a moment of stunned silence, and then I screamed with joy for David to grab plates and forks. Carter beamed, Angelo blushed, and the room exploded into celebration. As we sat eating cake, Rose nudged me and said with a smirk, "Told you so." I laughed, wiped a tear, and took another bite of the best damn cake I've ever had. The blessing I never deserved. I used to think I was cursed, that having a bisexual child would be some divine punishment. Now, I know better. I was blessed with a bisexual child, and a second chance at being the mother, sister, and person I should have been all along. If this is a curse, then may I carry it proudly for the rest of my life. Because love, real love, is never the punishment. It's their redemption.